are.
Boom.
Ain't we live
Boom.
already?
Boom.
I was just telling the guys here a little history story. Before the SEAL teams, which were formed basically out of or for the Vietnam War, before that, it was UDT, underwater demolition teams, during World War II on all these beaches. One of these beaches, you know, they landed the troops on these beaches. You want to go to the Normandy beach, don't you? Why do you want to go there?
That's the day that changed the entire history of the world, man.
That's something you'd like to see.
Yeah,
Corn.
absolutely.
I want to make sure Corn got a word in, because the last podcast I saw a comment that said he didn't get a word in until 49 minutes in.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
He's a dang neophobe, though.
Talking's new.
The enemy, who controlled Normandy? The Germans?
Yeah, the Germans.
So the Germans had planted these obstacles in the water
Planted.
to stop those landing craft from being able to pull up in shallow enough water to offload the troops. So before any landing craft came in, they took a small group of guys out there, Navy guys, in a little inflatable boat and dropped them out. And these guys swam in there with, you know, just no dive gear, nothing. Swam in there with haversacks, went down underwater on a breath hold, and strapped explosives to these obstacles and blew them up. We still learn that. They still teach us that. In third phase, I've got a picture of these big columns of water being shot up. You've probably seen it, Blake. You know, and in first phase, you're learning underwater knot tying. That's all historical, you know, frogman stuff. And the underwater knot tying is so that when you go underwater on that breath hold to attach these charges, you plant the haversack on the obstacle, and then you link these charges with deck cord. And so you have to use specific knots to link all these charges up and then to cap into it and then blow it all up. But yeah, the UDT guys, I mean, not many of them made it, because they were just like getting hammered.
Yeah.
They didn't have nothing to shoot back with. Like, that wasn't their purpose. Their whole purpose was to go in there and destroy those obstacles.
But none of the Navy swam before that. Is that why that they started implementing the sea? There wasn't a SEAL before that.
They weren't SEALs then.
Right.
They were just called UDT,
But did
underwater
anybody
demolition teams.
Well, I guess they were diving and stuff. So
Yeah,
why
I'm
was
sure
the SEALs?
maybe the Navy had divers.
Why was the SEALs born of that though?
Well, that was just they had created, you know, they had created this training pipeline to create these UDT, these little small UDT teams, and that was the genesis of BUDS, you know, and it was hard even back then. Back then, they used to run BUDS in Chesapeake, Virginia. Can you imagine going through BUDS in the wintertime in Chesapeake, Virginia? Freezing cold, ice, snow. And then kind of, you know, as Vietnam came about, they needed some sort of maritime warrior because there was so much water around Vietnam. So they said, oh, well, we've got these UDT guys over here. They're tough as daggone nails. They got a history of going in here and doing crazy stuff that nobody else will do. I assume they just said, that's a great group right there. We just get them a little tuned up on land, and they'll be able to do what we need them to do, you know?
Yeah. What do you think about that, Corn?
That's interesting. So when you say they're going down on breath hold, just common sense says they're just going down with no scuba tanks or nothing.
They got nothing, man. They in a little old pair of tan UDT shorts, which we still wear in SEAL training. UDT shorts. I wish I still had a pair. I don't have them anymore, but no, they didn't have nothing, man, but just their explosives and probably a set of fins on, maybe a dive mask like goggles, and that's it. So, yeah, a lot of history there, man. A lot of men have come, warriors have come before us and did amazing things.
Right.
You know, I mean, that takes some courage to go in there and do that job. That I can't even comprehend.
So that would you call that the precursor to the
SEAL
teams, and it was around all the way back in World War II?
Yep.
Dang.
Yeah, that's kind of where they started it.
Yep. but it's really cool
He's in a mood.
how even though
That's wild.
it's really cool how even though the UDT teams don't exist anymore, it's cool that they've kept all that heritage in through the training pipeline now. So like you're still connected with what they did because you learn those things. You learn underwater demolition. Another thing that they did is they would send these UDT teams in on these beaches that they wanted to land on, but they didn't know the water depth, and they also didn't know what was under the water, right? So they would send a team of UDT guys in, and you basically have a slate board with a little chalk marker, and you have a string with a lead weight tied on it, and you go along the beach and you take soundings with that string. That string got knots tied in it at certain intervals. So you're dropping that lead weight down, then you're counting the knots, pulling it up, you're making your depth, right? And you're doing
From the surface.
From the surface,
Yeah.
yep, you're swimming on the surface. And you're going around collecting all this data. And then you come back and you take that data and you actually plot and you make a map of the seafloor, the bottom of the beach there, so that the landing craft can tell, you know, what they're coming up against and what the depth of the water's going to be. We had to do that. It's called Hydro Hell Week, okay? You go through Hell Week that everybody knows about. Nobody knows about Hydro Hell Week. Hydro Hell Week is a week after Hell Week, where you go out and you do this beach reconnaissance, and when you get all your soundings and you come back to build out your chart, if you make one little mistake, you can't erase anything. The chart has to be perfect. So it takes you all night to make this chart. You're doing it on graph paper, and you make one little mistake, you got to redo the whole thing.
Wow.
So generally, you know, it takes you 2 or 3 times to finally get the finished product that you're going to submit for the grade.
I've always wondered what the floor looked like on the bottom of them ponds up at Camp Highland. Like to get some sounding.
What?
Yeah. Sure, there's some people that could do it.
Yeah, boys, there's stuff I know that y'all hadn't even come into the depths of your imagination.
You really,
know what I'm saying?
you are the epitome of forgotten more than we've ever learned.
Really, I mean, truly, when you think about it, I have forgotten more than
We
you
know.
guys have ever known cumulatively.
Yeah. Cumulatively, even.
So that's pretty crazy when you think about it. Now, I don't brag like this often, okay?
Yeah.
But I figured I'd just take a moment here.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely
to
worth noting occasionally.
to remind you guys who it is you're sitting at this table with.
It's big.
Because I don't brag very often, many times you guys forget.
We just overlooked it.
I'm glad you told us all that because we definitely needed to know it.
Yeah.
That's something we need.
And you know what's funny? I just barely scratched the surface, man.
Right. You just piquing our interest.
I haven't told you guys anything about, rock portage or
No, stop.
Over the
It's too much
horizon.
at once. It's too much at once.
OTB or, so.
I think the
OTP,
history...
He sung for Wu-Tang Clan, didn't he?
Huh?
OTP.
OTB. I haven't told you guys about Ditching Dawn.
RZA.
Corn ain't told you about Wu-Tang Clan.
Also, I think people are finally starting to realize, I did see some comments on last week's podcast that anyone who doesn't believe in, the Calvinistic doctrine is inferior.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's definitely.
Yeah.
Feeble-minded.
Yeah, people are finally starting to realize that what I'm putting out, this is going along. I'm taking the
Easy,
opportunity
Bubby.
here.
I think you might be crossing the line. Just-
This is what I see people saying.
Well, really, it's Corn, Blake, and I are feeble-minded in
Yeah.
comparison.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Anyone who hasn't read all of R.C. Sproul's books, they're inferior.
That was a great show on Monday, I thought. I told Blake, I said, that's one of the coolest things about what we get to do, especially on Monday meeting, but sometimes even here on Wednesday, is we actually get to sit down and I guess debate each other and get different viewpoints and different angles and all that. And we don't just sit down at a table with people that we're going to agree about everything and where we just, kind of, cheer each other on. You know what I mean? Which is often the case. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's really great to be able to do that.
Well, one of the main things though about being able to talk and debate is like everyone else knowing what you're going to talk and debate. Because I was prepared for Matthew 21.
That's what we talked about.
Yeah, except we didn't.
The triumphal entry, man.
Yeah,
Had
yeah.
to set the stage for that.
What are you saying?
Maybe next time a little heads up. Hey, we're going to take a little different
But
direction. and
it's harder to win a debate when
well, it's
when
not
you're-
even that I want to debate.
I'm talking
but-
about when the other person.
Well, we didn't have a debate.
Me and Chili talked about all that stuff on Friday. He should have told you.
Actually, I did.
We should have been there, Corn.
Yeah,
Well, we didn't have a debate, Corn. You didn't lose.
I didn't say we did.
Heck, you didn't speak.
He said it's like we'd have a debate. I didn't say we was
we
debating.
could have one.
Yeah.
We could set up a formal debate.
Well, I'm the mediator. I'm not a debater.
You're not?
No.
Really, it was really cool. Also, this morning getting to meet Todd over at the Trailhead. Man, it's great to, kind of get some confirmation that, yeah, we're on the right track, man. It's great to get that confirmation.
Well, in light of Monday's podcast, can you not be on the right track?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's good to have the confirmation, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of lack of trust,
Yeah.
and unbelief. Sometimes you need a little confirmation.
Yeah.
I have more of a sense of peace about what we are creating in terms of content now than I've had about any other stuff we've ever made, right? Personally. Rock course last weekend. I just saw that Ray made a post and talked about his transformation. I was thinking about Ray when I was reading his post, and I thought, that was a true, we got to witness him really go through a true transformation during the rock course.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember what he was like at the first resupply?
Yeah.
I mean, he was a mess. I mean, he's spilling water everywhere. You could tell he was frustrated. He he wasn't confident. I don't think he had known at that point. I don't know exactly what was going through his head, but I doubt he was confident at that point that he was about to actually do what he was about to actually do. You know, that he was going to have the ability to do that. But man, by the well, not even by the end, but by probably nightfall, that jugger was clicking.
Yeah.
He was confident.
He stuck with it.
He was steady. You know, he was calm. And it was really cool to see his post he made, but then to also reflect back on our opportunity and the gift we had to see someone actually experience a transformation in certain aspects of their mind and spirit in real time. How cool is that, man? I mean, how many other people get to see that?
Yeah. It's real awesome.
In real time.
Yeah.
In 24 hours. You know, a lot of times, you know, you might, if you witness transformation in a loved one or something, you're looking at it over the course of a year or, you know, 2 or 5 years.
Yeah.
But to get to see that in 24 hours. I think that Chili really had a good point on his piece on the After Actions report. What do you think made that team so successful, Chili? Because, again, for you guys that don't know, this is only the second team that has made it through the Rite of Passage mission and had no quitters, okay? Now, that doesn't mean that everyone there was tougher than most of the people that come to do the ROP course. I told them out there, I said, the ROP course is not designed to make you quit. The ROP course is designed so that anybody and everybody can actually come and complete it. That's what it's designed for. But we do get droves and droves of quitters generally on every single class. So what do you think, Chili, made that team so uniquely successful? Only 2 out of 12 teams.
Yeah, I was asking myself that while kind of in the waning hours as we were finishing, because anything can happen, but it's pretty evident at that point that this team was going to stick it through. You know what I mean? And in part of my search for figuring out why they were so successful, I was thinking back to the very first team that we ever took out there, and they were the other one that you're referencing to have finished with 100% success rate. And I think it boils down the first thing to talk about is the genuine desire and care that they had. I mean, they cared about, I would say they cared about respecting themselves, respecting their teammates with their effort. They cared about what they were doing and how they would be remembered. They cared about each other and taking care of each other while they were out there. I mean, so many things like this are difficult to talk about because I couldn't tell you how a team of 18 people, basically all strangers, were assembled that all had that care. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's been a lot of ROP courses and a lot of people on them cared, but there was some people in it that just didn't really care. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And it does something. And even when you have just a few that don't care.
Boy, it does something. And
to the whole thing.
Yep. It's crazy. So I don't know how I can't give a secret to how that was created or how it happened, so to speak, to be a universal trait. But, man, when you see that present, there is nothing more key to the success than you really, really, genuinely, deeply care about all those things. And at that point, you don't have to be the toughest or the most physically gifted or the most prepared even or the anything. That just binds a team together and overcomes a much lack of even, like I said, preparation.
Yeah,
that's what I noticed in them, and
Yeah.
I noticed that in the first team.
That was the point that I really wanted you to bring up, Chili. I think another advantage that they had was they, and not saying that this is by no means is it more powerful than what Chili just talked about, but still, in addition to their success, they had Ray, who was out front, and Casey, who was out front, and they got to suffering early. So they had Ray specifically, who was suffering greatly early, but he was so positive, even in the midst of his suffering.
Dude, yeah.
You know, and so I think they were taking a lot of, I heard many of them say, how can I complain about how I'm feeling right now? Look at this dude. He can barely walk right now.
And you want to know the thing, man? He was actually positive.
Yes.
There is so many people that it's just for show, and it really pisses me off. It negates every bit of positive thing that they're saying. They put on a show. They, like, you meet them and you can tell they ain't really thinking that. And maybe that's good to a degree, to even when your mind is filled with negative thoughts, speak something positive, even if it's forced and you're not. But I'm telling you, there's a difference whenever you are legitimately in a good mental space. And I don't mean he didn't have crazy negative stuff coming into his head, but he wasn't putting on a show. Does that make sense? Ray was legitimately a strong-minded dude, man, and he was actually displaying his, like, that was who he was. That was his demeanor. That was his attitude.
Smiling anytime you talk to him.
And you can't fake that.
No, you really can't.
You really can't fake that. And that had a huge impact on him. A huge impact.
I think it did too.
I mean, the ROP course is unique too, in that the first team that ever completed it with everybody had Aaron, who struggled early.
Yes.
And carried it right on through.
That's a good point.
But you know what? Aaron and Ray and Casey all did, other than, keep a good attitude, whatever. When the ROP course is unique in that no other thing would somebody's weakness, struggle, whatever you want to call it, actually be a catalyst quite like it is in the ROP course. Yeah. I mean, it really does provide something in that setting that nothing else would, because you are maybe the one struggling the most at a given point, and you are then responsible for leading the team.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you are. I mean, if you're walking out front, that's a big burden to carry. Mm-hmm. It's actually interesting to place that burden on someone who is struggling the most, because it does actually help them being in that position, but it doesn't change the fact that it's a burden to have to walk out front.
And find.
I mean, you are leading the team.
Yeah, I mean,
like it or not at that point. That's tough, man.
Yeah.
But it brings a team together like no other on the ROP course. It's cool.
Yeah, it's funny how you drew the line of the similarity between the two teams that did finish with no quitters, because Aaron was very similar to Ray, and Aaron was on the first team in that he started struggling real early. It was very visible, but he stayed positive, and that joker just kept trucking, man.
Yep.
Like, yeah, that was magnificent. I hope Aaron's doing well. I haven't seen him since the race, I guess, 2 years ago. But, yeah, that's another similarity. And think about, what does it look like? Chili said earlier that one of the unique parts of Team 12 at ROP was that everyone cared. So what does that look like? And to me, what it looked like was every team member stepping up and giving whatever they could uniquely contribute to the team. Like we had a retired Marine Corps soldier in the team. Like he kept the formation right. You know, we had Jamie, who was ran multiple. He's ran 100-miler, multiple ultras. Like physically, he was strong. So he took what he had left, and he didn't hold on to it so that it would be easier for him. But because he was stronger physically and he had some extra left mentally, he's the one that through the wormhole would be yelling out to the team, encouraging the team, stay together, guys. Don't pay attention. Don't, right? You had many times I heard Ray, in the midst of his suffering, not only showing his positivity, but he would as simply as yelling out, hydrate. And multiple of them were doing that, but everybody stepped up and said, okay, what can I give to the team, even though I could hold on to this extra energy and make it slightly easier on myself, what could I give to this team to contribute to the success of everyone? And they also really took pride in the goal that they had established for themselves.
They cared about it
as a team. Like you saw, they you know, we have teams come through and you ask them, are you guys going to finish without any quitters? And, you know, everybody says, yeah, but you could tell these guys really took pride in, like, this is the goal we've established. And many times I heard them discussing, none of us care about breaking the distance record. Yeah. We care about accomplishing the goal that we established as a team the night before we stepped off, which is that we are going to finish together.
Which, quite honestly, if you want my opinion, which nobody asked for it, but I think the distance record should only count if your entire team finishes. That's just my opinion.
Well, that's a good point.
I mean, if you go 60 miles but half your team quit, I don't really care.
That's a good point.
To me, the two top distances are the teams that we're talking about that finished with 100% success rate. Like it or not, I mean, that.
Yeah, you're right.
Because your team actually didn't finish if somebody quit. I mean, not everybody covered that distance, and you started with them, and for whatever reason, that's just my opinion. So in a roundabout way, they may have set the distance record. I'd have to check if the first team had more or not, but.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, because that is the ultimate achievement at the Rock Course.
Oh yeah,
is finishing as a team together. You know what I mean? That's the ultimate achievement. Half the time we don't even accurately track the distance.
No, we don't.
Yeah,
not really.
Like we know at what certain intervals we know what they are, right? But like none of us here at this table as instructors give two craps about the distance.
No, we don't ever know what it is exactly.
Yeah, no, we don't care. You know what I mean? Because that's never been the goal. You know, if you want that type of experience, go run 100-miler or a last man standing race or something. You know, if that's what you want to see is how far you can go. But, yeah, that's the ultimate goal. CB, did you see anything unique about this team? Or?
Well, so I didn't see the very first rock team that finished, but the thing that I noticed was, you know, like y'all said, they cared from the beginning. But they also did, like I said in the AAR, what you and Chili explained to them they would have to do. Be patient, present, deliberate. The hydration and the food, man, they consumed more water and more food than any other team that I'd seen. Like, they made sure they cared that much. Like, the things that they were told they had to do, they made sure to do. Like, they cared that. Like, the things you could easily look over and say, oh, well, they're caring big time for Ray and Casey, and they're keeping a check. Like, the things that they were told
it's the
to
little
do,
things.
Yeah, they cared about those. They had it. You would listen to them coming into a resupply, and they would start saying, okay, make sure you got this much food, make sure you got water, who's going to help Ray get water, who's going to help this person get water. Somebody tote the pack over there. Make sure there's this much food in this pack. I mean, if they knew how far they was to a resupply, they was lining up and making sure they got the right amount of food and the right amount of water. 100%. Make sure you get hoist. You got to make sure you got this much electrolytes, so on and so forth.
Man, how awesome it is we get to be a part of that, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what else? You talk about the little things. This is what I'm talking about with Karen, that people don't even understand the level that it goes to. Victor, our boy Victor, he was the best example of this. And half the time that I noticed this, he was in the dang back.
Yeah.
With nobody behind him. And what would he do? Every time that there was something, an obstacle in the trail or some piece of information to pass back, it would go down the chain. Maybe some people do it, some people not, but pretty good. They passed the word. And freaking Victor, half the time he was the last in the column, and he would still say it and repeat it.
Yeah.
And that seems silly. It seems like, why is he even saying it? He ain't saying it to nobody. No one's behind him, because he's doing the process.
Yeah.
He's not always in that position because he moved around, right? But he's doing the process.
Yeah.
He's sticking to it.
I noticed that
He's
too.
not lazy.
Yeah,
Like everybody else wants to be whenever
going
there's.
down the most technical part, I was behind him and he was in the back.
And what was he doing?
And if I didn't say something, he'd be like, "Did you hear me, CB? Yeah. There's a stump right here." I'd be like, "Yeah, I got it, man." And that's why I said in the AR, he was so locked on. I bet he could have counted the rocks
I'm telling you,
on
man.
the way down.
That's the level.
That's how locked in he was. All the way to seeing that rattlesnake that nobody else seen.
Yeah, everybody walked past it.
Yeah.
Victor didn't miss it.
Yeah,
He was sharp, man.
he was. And had never seen a snake in person in his life. He had never seen a snake in person.
How about Victor coming out? Victor is a software developer
San Francisco.
from
Cool,
San
man.
Francisco. Comes out and does a ROP course.
Yeah.
I mean, we get to work with people. I mean, you would never meet Victor.
Nah.
No.
Never in your life. Magnificent human being.
Yep.
You know, Ray. Dang Canadian.
Dang Canadian.
Magnificent human being.
Frazier, dang Scottish.
Scottish Frazier.
Yeah.
Everybody on that team.
Yeah.
Was just outstanding. I'm thankful for you guys, man. And by the way, everybody listening, we got so much of that team on film. And we have a really great video editor now that's come on board.
Literally the best.
And we have a really awesome videographer now that we've hired. And so we got so much of that on film, and we're going to get to share it with you guys, you know, Lord willing. And hopefully you guys see the things, you know, little bits and pieces of these things that we're talking about in that film, because we're not going to share that film with you for the sake of your entertainment, but for the sake of you know, giving you the opportunity to see the things that we saw. And yeah, you're not there in person, but the next best thing that you can do is watch that and see how it works and get some inspiration from these guys that were out there, for most of them doing the hardest physical, and for some the hardest physical and mental thing that they've ever had to or endeavored to accomplish in life. And that's the purpose of us creating these little films around it. And I guess the best thing that you could do is come and do a ROP course and get to have that experience for yourself and actually feel how difficult it is to do the things that we're talking about doing, especially late into this course when it does get extremely hard. So I hope the Lord makes a way, and it's according to His will that we get to continue to do these things, be a part of these transformations, and I hope and pray that He keeps us healthy and allows us to do it because it's such a gift. It's a gift that I've taken for granted for many years. But, yeah, did you see anything unique about the team, Blake, or anything you wanted to share?
From the support side, you don't get to see a whole lot. I mean, it was, everything you guys have covered. The only thing you didn't mention is Wesley that had rolled in about 5 minutes before the start.
That's crazy.
Drove straight through after working
from
all
Houston.
day.
That is insane.
When I heard that story, I thought, oh, yeah, he's not. I mean, like, he's going to be too tired.
Right.
Wesley was tired at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Like 3 in the evening. Before it even got dark, he was
Sleepy.
zigzagging back and forth on the trail.
Yeah, that's
wild. He was
time.
tough, man. Again, they took pride as a team. And they weren't going to let each other stop.
Yeah.
And everybody knew that. Like, I think they almost had in their head, like, well, I couldn't stop right now even if I wanted to because these guys aren't going to let me do that.
Yeah, that one of them was saying they were telling Ray, like, when they saw the resupply, they would say, Ray, you're not stopping at this one. Like, I know you're hurting, and I'm kind of I think it was maybe Jamie saying that. He said, you're not quitting at this one.
It was magnificent, man.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was magnificent. And, of course, if you were part of Team 12 and we didn't mention your name or mention you specifically, just know that we don't think that you weren't playing a piece in that.
Oh,
Every one of you guys that were part of that team were a integral piece of the success of the team. So thank y'all for having the courage to come and do it, man, and for making that investment. And I hope you guys are satisfied. Great weekend, man. If my old body would hold up, I could do that. I'd do that every weekend, son. If I could hold up to it. Man, it's good. Well, I want to talk a little bit about, and Cornbread, do we have a Patreon question this week?
We do.
I realize I missed it last week.
Yeah.
Do we have any announcements this week either?
Oh, actually, yeah, we do.
You guys have a big announcement. Are you guys going to announce that this week?
Are you ready?
Yeah, bust it off, Chili.
Oh, man.
Let me pull up the info here. Are you sure?
Yeah, let it rip.
Well, explain some of our process here.
I've actually been really excited about this, so, I mean.
Well, what do you mean explain some of the process?
He means talk.
How'd we get here? I mean, it didn't turn out how we wanted.
Hold on. All right. I'm so excited about this.
Now we're downplaying.
I'm ecstatic.
I'm so excited about this. What's actually going to happen is you guys are going to announce this next week. Can you announce it next week?
We can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or we can announce it now.
No, we'll wait till next week.
I want you.
I'm not going to be any more ready next week.
I want you to announce it next week, and I want you to lead with it
Okay.
because I'm really excited about this, man, I think
too.
that people are going to be. I think that people are going to be excited about it. It's going to give people a good reason to get out and get after it, and to experience a sense of community. And obviously it's going to be cool to watch what happens at the championship. I'm really pumped about seeing the top 10, right?
5.
Top 5?
Top 5, yeah.
The top 5 battle it out. It's going to be big.
Real big.
Yeah. So we'll shift off of announcements. Remember that up there on the July 2nd, too.
Yeah.
Keep this thing on track.
Yes, I wanted to talk about Blake here in just a minute.
Nope.
What we could have announced it today, but you guys fumbled that.
Well,
So-
honestly, I just want you to know it will go no differently next week when we announce it. I'm going to qualify it. I'm going to preface it with, well,
Well, I'll just shut it down again.
this fell apart because we could announce it. It's ready.
We'll do it next
It
week.
actually would be good to announce today because it could open in. It's actually active. It's going. Started July 1st.
Well, we'll go ahead and announce it today then, and we'll do the official announcement next week.
So prefaced with a lot of people have said, hey, why don't y'all do some ruck thing, or why don't y'all make something up to go with the ruck plan? Well,
you've been doing a lot of rucking, CB.
I have. I'm literally, when people drive by me where I live, they point and I can see their mouths moving. They're like, oh, there's the guy that rucks. I mean, every car does that. So me and Chili come up with a
All 5
3 of
cars.
7 ruck challenge.
Strava challenge.
Strava challenge that Chili's going to explain.
Well, this was actually Cornbread's idea. So if it fails, it's Cornbread's idea. But no, really, it is cool. We've developed a 10-week series. Okay, there's a 10-week challenge series that does culminate in a championship, like Chad mentioned. So there's some stakes involved. You'll actually qualify. 5 of you will qualify for a championship at our very own Mountain Mama Farms Classic in October. It's just really a summer series, if you want to call it, that is meant to inspire people to get out, move their body, do something maybe that they've never done before. Maybe you've never rucked before, like Cornbread rucks all the time. I've never done much rucking, but I did.
I went the other day with him.
How was it?
It was legit hard.
Oh, yeah.
It was legit hard.
Well, it's like anything. It's as hard as you want to go.
Yeah.
And what we've created does give people the ability to go hard and pursue a goal and try to qualify at the end and be in the top 5, or just do something that they've never done before and get some fitness going in a new way with rucking. It's also meant to be a place for the 3 of 7 community to have a place to go, another avenue, another place to go to. They can communicate with each other on there, right? Or no?
I'm not sure if they'll be able to comment or not.
Well, either way, it's the ability to do something hard together as a community and compete against each other, if that's what you want to use it for, as competition. The premise of the challenge as a whole is to go through a whole series of weeks in the summer of different ruck competitions, if you will, that vary from, what do we have? Things like, fastest ruck of a certain distance. We have most distance accumulated weekly, all kinds of things. We have
elevation.
Yeah, different weights. So there's all kinds of different challenges. Some may not really be for you, and that's fine. But others may be right up your alley. So we would encourage people to just try to, participate in all of them. And the weights are going to be the same for men and women. It'll vary from 20 pounds up to, we have
60.
some 60-pound challenges.
Dang.
Yeah. So quite difficult. Obviously, the 60-pound challenges won't be as long. We believe everybody can do this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not
absolutely.
everybody. Some people don't have legs.
True.
We've mentioned that, but
Or shoulders.
but generally everybody should be able to do this, and may take you a long time with that 60-pound ruck, but it's all doable. It's all within, I would say, for the most part, your capabilities. And like you say, you can push it as hard as you want, right? Like
Right.
Corn said, he's going to throw down some big weeks.
Yeah.
But 20 to 60 pounds. How the competition will work is it is through Strava. So Strava, if you've never heard of it, you need to download that app, create you an account, and you will have to have a Strava premium account
Yes.
to join the challenges, right? So that is like $80 a year.
Yeah, I think, 70.
So you will have to purchase the the whole the whole ruck challenge series on our website, and then you'll have to also create a Strava account. But once you've done that and you've bought the challenge series, it'll have all the instructions you need for how to be confirmed in each challenge and participate in all that and the rules of the challenge. But how it basically works is you'll have a GPS watch, you'll track your ruck or rucks for the week, given the parameters that we've set, like how much poundage you have to have and everything else, and then it will collect your data and create a leaderboard that we'll be able to see and review at the end of each week and assign points to whoever wins. So obviously winning gets you the most points, and then it'll go down to 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. We'll all get some points, and your season point totals will be tallied up at the end of the year, and then the top 5 point earners of the season will be invited out to Mount Mama for our 8-hour ruck championship, which I think will be a really cool addition to the Mount Mama race. We've been asked if we would consider making a ruck division in some of our races. Well, we haven't really done that officially, but we kind of have in a sense with this invitation only ruck championship.
They get free entry. They're it's an invitation. They show up for the championship.
The top 5 qualifiers, they don't have to sign up for Mount Mama. They'll be invited.
Yep, and they get all the use of the aid station and stuff, the same as someone who was out there running.
Yep.
That's
So
awesome,
the first challenge, if you're interested in signing up, will start in August, August 4th. So what we've done is we've created kind of a preseason, a 10-week main regular season, and then a postseason, that being the championship at Mount Mama. The preseason is the month of July, and it's just a group competition for people that sign up now to get started, get a feel for how the Strava works, have time to sign up and make your Strava premium account and everything, and you follow 3 of 7 Ruck on Strava. That way you can be invited to the challenges, and July is just a way to basically get you in, have everything set up in place so you're ready for the first one in August.
The one that counts.
Yeah, the one that counts.
So they need to go to 307project.com, find...
Yep, it's under digital downloads.
Okay.
Yep, it's a digital product just like the Ruck training plan and our video courses.
And this is limited to 24 competitors, right?
Yep, that's what's a little bit unfortunate is refresh it, Blake.
I did.
We'll keep doing it.
So that's limited to 24 competitors.
Yeah.
For per challenge.
Yep.
For each month.
Yep.
All right.
Should be active right now. Blake's phone's just slow. That's okay.
You just did it. It's up now.
Okay.
Okay. Well, good.
So, yeah, if you want to get in on this first season, it's only 24 competitors for the season.
Yep.
They go in, they make one purchase, and that gives them access to every single challenge.
So all 10 weeks, yep. Yeah, plus the preseason in July. It is $100 for the 10-week series. That's $10 per challenge. And like I said, I think the Strava count will be $80 for a year. Is that right? You're the Strava expert.
Yeah,
79, yeah.
$79.99.
Good deal. So yeah, we're excited about it. I mean, we'll
Be big.
And I want you guys to keep us updated on who is the lead throughout the months of August, September.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here on the podcast. I
Yeah.
want to keep track of.
Now I'm competing in it as well.
Yeah, you're the 25th.
Yeah.
That's why it's only 24.
It's ridiculous.
Cornbread's the 25th.
So yeah, and if there is any questions you have about this up front, or I guess difficulties with finding Strava or how to sign up for that or create an account or then follow us on Strava, you have to follow 3 of 7 Ruck.
Yeah.
If there's any questions about that, just send us an email. You go ahead and send it to 3of7merch@gmail.com because that's the quickest one I'll see. And or 3of7project@gmail.com. We'll see them both. But yeah, if there's any questions about that, we want to make sure we answer that because we're excited about it, and we want 24 people in this we're really looking forward to something like this, and really going to take it serious and enjoy it, and hopefully compete for a spot in Mount Mama.
It's gonna be big, man.
And you get to compete against Cornbread, who's a megastar.
It's gonna be big.
Oh,
We didn't even mention how famous Cornbread is.
He's literally took up a spot.
Yeah, whole spot.
It's unbelievable.
He might
steal
win it.
y'all's points is what I'm gonna do.
3 of 7 ruck. So you are 3 of 7 ruck.
Yeah, I am 3 of 7 ruck.
Dang.
It's big, son. All right. Well, Blake, I wanted to talk a little bit about what we were talking about on the run yesterday with Paul about this. We talked about it a little bit on Monday, is how when we look at the big picture view of what is encapsulated by the Holy Scriptures, how everything is ultimately purposed to glorify the Son, right? And have you guys ever heard or read in the Scriptures about us, meaning the church, how we are likened to, or actually called, the bride of Christ? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we see that many times in the Scriptures, but I think maybe we just a lot of times kind of skip over how important it is to understand what our actual purpose is as the body of Christ. And it's mentioned, we're referenced so many times in Scripture as the bride of Christ, multiple times. It's funny how we don't think about how important it is to understand that or to see that. And really, our purpose, if you really just boil it down, we are a gift from the Father to the Son. Like, think about it. Like, that's your purpose, right? That's the purpose of the whole plan of redemption is so much less about, the saving of man, and so much more about providing the Father providing this gift of a bride to the Son, right? A people. And it's really humbling to think that, man, ultimately, that's the purpose of our salvation. That's the purpose behind why we've been reconciled, is so that we can be this gift to the Son. And in the Word, you'll also notice, especially in the Gospels, in places where Jesus talks about this reciprocal glorification between the Son doing what he did on the cross to glorify the Father, and then the Father glorifying the Son by giving him the fruits of what was accomplished on the cross. And it's this reciprocal glorification.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Which fits right into the Trinity, right? The triune God. It's reciprocal because it's 3 in 1. So it's just going right around, back and forth. I just think that it's a really awesome thing, and I think when we talk about or when we read about the peace that surpasses all understanding, to me, it gives me so much peace to think the ultimate purpose in my reconciliation and everything I do is to be offered up as a gift to the Son. And I think to some people, they might hear that and they might think, oh, that's because it is at the same time, it gives you peace, but it also forces you to kind of humble yourself, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's why we skip over that too much, is because we want to make this plan of redemption so much more about us, about the saving of man, and less about the glorification of the Son.
Which the saving of man is part of it, but we like to think of it, the saving of man, and that's kind of the end of it. Like,
Yeah.
it is the saving of the man for the sake of Christ. It's not saving a man for the sake of man. Like, oh, you need to do this or else you're going to go to hell. You know, it's going to be bad for you. It's not for the sake of that.
Yeah, the saving of man is so that he might present the church to himself in splendor, without spot or wrinkle or any such thing, so that she might be holy and without blemish. It's presenting the perfect gift.
Yeah, we think of the gift of salvation was for us, but when you look at it in that light, it's really not for you. It's like you as, you know, if you're thinking of this, you as the creator, not we are creators, but if you were thinking of it like this, a creator had a son whom he wanted to give a gift to, and the gift became imperfect, so he had to do something to make that gift perfect so that he could give it to his son, and it would be worth giving and not imperfect, you know. We think that the salvation is for us, and really it's for the Son.
Yeah. Yeah, really, yeah,
We
is.
received salvation, but it wasn't because it wasn't for us. It was so that we could be the perfect gift to the Son.
Yeah, and when you say it wasn't for us, essentially, and including me, the thought process is generally this plan of redemption and this salvation that I've received is ultimately a gift to me so that I can receive and partake in the inheritance of eternal life, but that's not the end of it.
Yeah.
The purpose of my eternal life is to be the bride.
Yeah, it's to us, but
Christ.
not for us, right? I mean,
Yeah.
what do you think, Corn?
I don't really have nothing I could add to that. I mean, I agree completely.
It makes you think about things a lot differently
Yeah.
when you consider that, and you might probably realize a lot of selfishness that of the way that you do things and the way you think about it being for you, and like you were so special that this I mean, it's really, I mean, you are special, but only because you're a gift to the Son.
Right.
That's that's the extent of your specialness.
Yeah.
You're not special because anything you did or any unique thing about you versus someone else. And people don't get that. And a lot of people's not going to like hearing this either.
It's so cool to me too to just kind of scratch the surface of the how it reciprocates in that. I got to spend some time with my friend yesterday, and we read the first 2 chapters of the book of Genesis, and you read this account of the Almighty and Jesus and the Holy Spirit creating the heavens and the earth, all that is, creating the cosmos, and after each day, the Almighty says, "It is good, it is good, it is good," and then the all of creation becoming corrupted, and being placed under a curse. Well, the Almighty, He said this creation is good. He took pleasure in it. takes pleasure in it. It was corrupted. The Son comes and makes a way that all creation can be redeemed. Well, then, the Son makes the way, then the Father just gives it all back to the Son.
Yeah.
It's like totally just all together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, really, I don't know, it's an incomplete thought, but if you think, I don't know, I need to think on it longer or it's not going to make any sense.
Don't think too hard there.
It ties in, when you think about it in this way, it ties in differently to the, like, did God create evil? Like, he wanted to give his Son a perfect gift. Why would he make it evil, then make it good so that he could send the Son to, like, that was his plan. And so a lot of the other conversation we had, when you look at it in this light, kind of has a different, I mean, I have a bit of a different take on it.
You're getting closer.
I know you have the nugget that you're going to share with us one day.
Well, I mean, it's bizarre if, in light of the other conversation we had, because if you go with what you're just saying, I mean, I don't know how else to word that. Everything you just said, and then you go, well, we just had a discussion where, I wouldn't say we said, so Chad said that he took a hard stance that everything, I mean, when I agreed with this too, like everything that is done is according to God's plan. You can't buck that. Well, then saying that his perfect gift was corrupted was a part of his plan for it to be corrupted. I mean, like, how can you say it wasn't? Well, that's weird then, because like,
Not weird to me. I understand why.
Okay, well, that's a really out there thing to say, that you fully understand why.
If you really think about it, you'll get it.
Chad, you do know that the more you say you know why God does certain things, the closer you're getting to saying that, like, yeah, man, I got it. I mean, really, I'm not going to pretend like I know why God. I mean, why did he create anything? Why did he do it? Everyone wants to go, oh, so we had whatever the crap they say. Like, is that why? I don't know. I mean, that doesn't seem like the complete picture. I don't know why he did what he did. Mm-hmm. If I did, I think I would be God.
Well, from what we're talking about now, he created man so that he had a gift of a bride to give to his Son.
But he could have done that. No, he couldn't have, right? I'm steer clear of saying that he could have done something differently than he did. But theoretically, well, he couldn't. Then he could have just given the perfect gift to his Son.
Yeah.
Without having to go through all the corruption. Now,
in logic, that does away with the total free will that we have none.
Yep.
To me,
yep.
If you're applying like why would he do that? But who knows?
It does. I mean, yeah.
So I don't know, just an incomplete thought that came in my head that I don't have really any
answer
answer
to. I won't go down and ask you the question that you need to be asking yourself that will lead you but to the conclusion that you need to arrive to, because this is the only point that I was planning on making today on the podcast.
We do need to get
I have another announcement.
We do need to get Cornbread's input on this.
That is true. Well, you just did. You asked him. He said he didn't have anything to add to it.
But then there was some other things said.
Yeah, that wasn't that you guys took this and you went a different direction with it.
Well, Blake started it.
Yeah. You didn't know I was going to bust off with that, did you?
So just let's all just ponder the first point that was made. Hey man,
we're getting too far from what he had prepared to talk about. He needs to go.
We can find hope and peace and humility in that.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Which is what's good. Everything, you know. That's what I wanted to share with you guys.
Yep.
Today.
God said,
I'm glad you brought that up, Bob.
God said, I've got this perfect gift. I'm gonna have them mess it up. Then I'm gonna send my Son to save them, and it's really for Him. Mm-hmm. Chad acts like he got that easy.
Yeah.
Well, you have forgotten that he knows. He's forgotten
More than we've ever
we
known.
know. And so you're operating.
We just had that conversation at the beginning of the show,
how
man.
quickly we forget.
Oh, man. Y'all are a mess. CB, I know we got a Patreon question coming up.
This is
This episode today is brought to you by Barbell Apparel. Got a good run in this morning. A couple good runs in this morning.
Yeah.
And we were out there in the heat. Ultralight Tech Tee and the Ultra Shorts is what I ran in this morning. Outstanding.
Like this tank top.
I like that. I only have one of those tank tops. I need another one. Outstanding in this Georgia heat, man. But Barbell doesn't just make fitness apparel. They make all different types of apparel for all different walks of life, from the most comfortable blue jeans you'll ever wear to collared shirts to gym apparel to stuff that's great to wear out on the range. If you guys like to shoot, stuff like that. So check them out at barbellapparel.com. You guys know we've been partners with Barbell for a long, long time. And it's a really awesome group of people behind the brand. And they are dedicated to constantly innovating their products and making them better. And we're thankful for the relationship that we've been able to have with them for years. And we have that relationship because you guys have chosen to support the companies that support this show. And that makes a big difference to us. So next time you need some new threads, check them out at barbellapparel.com. What's up, Chill Man?
For the Patreon question, I do have an announcement. We have a newsletter, and in fact, we've had a newsletter that goes out every week for an entire year. This Sunday, it goes out every Sunday. Well, I was going to say you write something for it every Sunday, but that's not true. Most Sundays, Chad
I've only missed a few.
writes something to go in
Majority.
it.
You could give him majority.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, I didn't take away majority, but
Okay.
yeah, this Sunday is the official 1 year anniversary, so there will be a store discount code.
Oh,
In the newsletter.
Yeah, Blake.
how much discount are you giving?
Blake's just now approving this.
Have you heard how much discount?
15%.
Oh,
Good.
15%
4th of July.
store discount code. Yeah, kind of a combo. 4th of July, 1 year anniversary. So it's a thank you to all of the newsletter subscribers. You know, we told you if you subscribe to it that you would get perks, along the way. And this is just the latest in the line of that. So there's advantages to it. It's been good. I look back through the year of it recently.
Yeah.
And, Chad's piece and everything.
Oh,
and
it's valuable.
and the different images and everything else. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and it's
it
cool
is.
to have this catalog, I guess you would say, of like 3 of 7. It's almost memorializing 3 of 7 through the years.
It's a new Nuff Said book. We literally have.
You're writing a book.
We literally have all of these writings over the course of the last year.
Yep, like a half a year's worth of writings.
I think the things that I write now for the newsletter are better than the things I used to write for Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
That was a good idea you had to start that newsletter.
It wasn't my idea.
What are you doing for the 4th?
What the crap, Blake?
I'm talking about the 4th.
I told Chili the other day. I said I do not celebrate holidays. I'm so sick of it. Hey,
you don't celebrate now holiday.
Nope. I'm not acknowledging. You know what? I just screwed up a minute ago. I said that newsletter was for the 4th. I acknowledged a holiday.
Yeah, it wasn't
celebrate
really, but we can make it
You
come
popped
to
a
that.
blood vessel in your eye. You're so mad about
You
it.
literally last year explained this big Christmas spectacular you was going to have where nobody couldn't bring a gift under $1,000.
That's not for
You're
Christmas. That's
canceling
not for a holiday.
It was for Christmas.
He called it
No.
the Christmas bash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to change the name of it because I have reformed my thinking on these pagan holidays.
Bet you have.
We worship these pagan gods.
So you're not doing anything for the 4th?
No,
You're gonna pop off some fireworks?
I am
Go
literally,
pay taxes on fireworks to
Yeah,
celebrate a holiday where we
yeah,
Wasn't
quit paying
taxes.
taxes?
yeah. How about that?
I don't
am
buy
not
I don't
acknowledging
do
a single
fireworks.
holiday.
What year was that?
What year was what?
The first 4th of July.
Well, Memorial Day's a good one.
Ain't doing it.
What year was the first 4th of July?
Probably like the, 1300s or something.
Was it?
A long time ago.
1600s.
1600.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They started it in the 1300s, but it didn't actually start being called Independence Day until the 1600s.
And now it's just the 4th of July. When's the last time you heard someone call it Independence Day?
Actually, Martin Luther was the one who deemed it Independence Day.
I seen where
Did he?
R.C. Sproul come out against that. He brought it back to the 4th. He
Yeah,
said.
but he's too arrogant.
Go read the Bondage of the Will. You'll learn about the origins of the 4th of July.
So Martin
John
Lu-
MacArthur made a study Bible about
Martin
it.
Luther allowed, hey, we need to have a 4th of July.
yeah, in the 1600s.
Did
He wrote-
was Martin Luther as arrogant as R.C. Sproul is?
Oh, if you want to read Martin Luther's response to Erasmus in the Bondage of the Will. He is rough, son.
Was Erasmus rough with him?
Well, Erasmus was all tied in with the Roman Catholic Church, and he was espousing all these ideas about, he was
People have espoused a lot.
he was
lately.
basically just, presenting all these ideas because he wanted to stay in good standing with the Pope. Everybody
Well,
wanted to.
yeah, who wouldn't?
Exactly.
Everybody back then wanted to be in good standing with the Catholic Church. That's why people don't understand.
The Roman Catholic Church.
Yeah, the Roman Catholic Church. People don't understand why. Why? Because the church is Catholic. The church is universal.
I know.
All right, the
covered
Roman
it.
Catholic Church. People don't understand how big of a deal
You know where he got that?
it was that Luther did
conversation
what
we
he
had.
did. Because the Roman Catholic Church was essentially the government.
Yeah.
And everybody wanted to
define
be in good
Catholic.
standing with them because they wielded so much power and influence. It's the same reason everybody wants to, be in good standing with Donald Trump and, all these other politicians.
I like how Martin Luther did that 100 years after he was dead
What?
in the 1600s.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he wrote that proactive,
Post-
retroactive.
Posthumously, yeah.
What we got from Patreon this week, CB?
I like that segment.
I just picked a light Patreon question for you this week,
Good.
Bub. 'cause
What
you've
size T-shirt do you wear?
You've been getting real deep, and you've been doing these running videos. I know you putting in that work,
that
man.
deep.
You're about to go to Alaska, so I said I'm gonna keep it light on old Chad today. This is from Danny McMillan Jr.
Well, first of all, how dare you think that I don't have the capacity?
Point that pencil at me again, I'm gonna jerk it out your hand and throw it at your forehead.
How dare you think that I don't have
You
the
see
capacity
how he just turned on
He
me?
said, "How dare you?"
You see
to
how he just
answer
turned
a
on?
He's
deep
contentious.
question?
Huh?
He's contentious.
Danny McMillan Jr. Tried to ask you something on Truck Talk, and somebody tried to run a scam on him, gave him a WhatsApp number, and tried to say, this is Chad,
again?
call me. So he sent this question with that information to Patreon. And his question is, have you continued with your jiu-jitsu training?
No. No, I am not doing jujitsu.
He hit you with that hard one today, didn't
look.
he?
I told him I was going to bring him that light one, son.
Look, I'm like Wyatt Earp. I don't even carry a gun anymore. I'm done with all that.
All that.
You just love.
I'm not looking to fight nobody. Look, I'm not looking to kill nobody.
Is that why you carried a gun? You were looking to fight somebody?
Looking to kill somebody?
Look,
Somebody's getting it today, bub.
I'm like Wyatt Earp, man. It's like when he walked in
You
there.
shouldn't have said that. That'd be used
It's
as
like when he
evidence.
walked up in that saloon. He did like this. He said, I don't even carry a gun no more.
Cause all the evil he recognized.
I ain't messing with all that.
I don't believe you ain't toting a gun no more.
I ain't messing
Yeah,
with all
before
that
me.
violence.
Blake's like Johnny Ringo, always has been.
Violent people trying to fight with other people and stuff. Nah. Buddy, I'm looking forward to the new heavens and the new earth where we're going to beat our swords into plowshares. Huh?
Yes.
The lion's going to lay down with the lamb. We're going to be eating herbs.
What about love always protects? What if you got to protect somebody?
Yeah,
I
well,
got to
gotta
protect
choke
somebody.
somebody
I'll
out.
handle that.
Well, what if you ain't got no ability?
He ain't gonna
You
choke him out
gonna
either.
do
He
it.
don't know
buddy.
how.
Look, what did we just discuss at the beginning of this podcast? I have forgotten more about how to do violence to humans than y'all will ever know in your life.
But have you retained as much as we have now? You've forgotten more, but have you retained as much? That's the question, ain't it?
Well, I've got men around me that serve as my guard, you know. So
Yeah, that's true.
I don't got to fool with all that mess.
And
no
boy,
more.
let me tell you, they are some shooters.
Look, when you get rich as me, you don't fool with all that
Ain't that
violent
right,
stuff
boys?
anymore.
All y'all's a bodyguard anyway.
Ain't y'all seen
You're not meant
the
to kill
video?
nobody. You meant to take a bullet.
Ain't folks seen the video
Oh yeah,
of our test we did?
that's right.
We hammered down.
So
That was a good question.
Yeah, just enlighten. He's about to go to Alaska, man.
yeah,
I thought he was going to ask, is that a scam?
Oh, that's funny.
That's what you should have said. And his
Is
question
that a
is
scam?
that real or is that a scam?
Oh, that would have set him off.
look, that whole scamming thing. Look, if y'all ever communicate with us, think you're communicating with us online, outside of a direct email from one of our authorized accounts, or Patreon hadn't been hacked yet, I don't think.
You can say this, but it's still going to get people.
Listen, if
Yeah,
you
I know.
ever think you're
I know.
communicating with Chad, just know you ain't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Good point.
That's a good point. You're not communicating with me, I guarantee.
I'll talk to you. I like you.
Well, boys, do we got anything else to cover this week? Outstanding.
I know my Strava's blowing up, and if you ain't bought the ruck plan, you're going to be sorry. Do not follow me unless you bought the ruck plan.
Yeah, that's some bull crap.
We got any super chats this week? You think? Are people are following you on Strava?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
We got Marty Bingham coming at $9.99.
Big Marty. He's still alive.
I'm just tuning in to the Cornbread and What's His Name show to see what's up.
Thank you, Marty.
Go.
$9.99 again. It's about time for Goldfinger to float down the Yukon, ain't it? Sounds like a good way to relax.
Oh, Goldfinger.
Gold finger.
Oh, I like that.
He come back in at $9.99. He said, while What's His Name is loafing on the river, Big Daddy's going to be busting the Merrill's Mile in Dahlonega. If anybody wants to get off the couch, they can come join me.
Dang it,
Marty's
Marty.
doing Merrill's Mile? That's cool, man.
That's your neck of the woods. That's where you like to run.
I have, yeah.
That's a 24-hour, right?
You can do 6, 12, 24, 48.
Wow.
I got it all, man. It's a distance carnival.
Is it track?
No, it's a 1 mile asphalt loop on a military base, completely exposed the whole time.
Good.
It's
night.
pretty dang awesome, man. The dang heat bounces off that blacktop down there and just radiates.
I bet your feet get hot as crap.
It's awesome, man.
And that's
I love that place. It's beautiful.
That's the same race directors as Cruel Jewel.
Yep.
That was my first 100-miler.
Yep,
Man, that's
sure
cool,
is.
Marty. I'm glad you're doing that, man. You got to keep moving at your age, Marty. If you stop, you're going to be dead as a wedge, Bubba. Keep moving.
Years ago, I was there. This has Marty beat. Doyle Carpenter. They call him Plowboy. He's an old farmer. He was 83 years old, and he did the dang 24-hour.
Really?
No, the 48-hour. Sorry, he did the 48-hour. I mean, talking about just keep moving, dude. That dude is a hoss.
I've never met him.
He's old as corn.
He's a legend.
Wesley Rice came in at $19.99. So grateful for the ROP experience this past weekend, being pushed farther and harder than ever before. Made many new memories, and brothers in Christ would not trade it for the world. See y'all at Mountain Mama.
Thank you,
What it's
Wesley.
all about, Wesley. Thank you for being there, man.
Wesley did say, maybe it was his sleep-deprived state, he did say something crazy. Did he not look at you and say he wanted to see if he could do a 50K?
Yeah.
Well, good Lord.
Yeah, I said, Wesley, what made you, inspired you to come out and do the rock course? He said, well, I ran a marathon a little while back. He said, I wanted to get out here and See, you know, I want to do a 50K. I figured this would be a good measure.
Good
See if
Lord,
I'd be
Wesley.
ready
Yeah,
or
you can
not.
do a 50K.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you, Wesley.
We had Brian Bidlack come in at $9.99.
Bidlack.
Come
What's
on.
up,
now.
Brian?
He said, "I'm a new subscriber. I really appreciate what y'all are doing here. God bless."
Thank you, man. Just
Thank you,
know
Bidlack.
that if you're here, you might get made fun of a little
Is
bit.
it bid or big lack?
Bid.
Bid lack. Okay.
Right, big lack.
That's bid. Hold on, is it bid or big?
That's what I'm saying.
Bid.
Big lap.
Big.
Thank you.
Big.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, buddy.
We had Wesley Rice come in at $9.99.
Dang.
Dang, Wesley.
Thanks for the shout out, fellers. I was zigging when I should have been zagging, but my team held me accountable and made sure we completed the mission with our goal accomplished.
That's right.
Yeah,
man.
that was awesome.
And that's it.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and Lord willing, we'll see y'all on Monday. If you're on Patreon, the Comms Check podcast for this week will be coming out this Friday, and if you're on Patreon, Sunday, Resurrected. Blake, are you teaching
Not
Sunday?
this Sunday, it'll be next.
Next Sunday. Oh, okay. This your off. This our off Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay. Next Sunday, be Resurrected. We love you guys. Thanks for everything that you do for us here and for being a part of the mission here at 3 at 7 Project. Nuff said.